Good morning and good afternoon to everyone connecting to this webinar today. My name is Sandy Masters, and I am the founder, host, and producer of live online weekly classes through the PrepAdemy virtual classroom community. Because of a passion for helping risk and insurance professionals achieve their education goals, PrepAdemy offered its first public class in 2012. As host producer, I work with subject matter experts in the virtual classroom to provide live online guided instruction for students preparing to pass exams for CPCU, ARM, AIC, AU, AAI, and AINS. A copy of the slide deck and the recording will be posted to the PrepAdemy website within 24 hours of this live webinar. Okay, you have made a commitment to attend today's session as a currently enrolled student or a potential student looking for more information. The value you will receive by listening and interacting in today's session is through answering the most common questions. PrepAdemy uses the GoToWebinar virtual classroom tool. We've talked about some of the features. Hopefully you'll use the question box to ask your questions today. We're going to talk about what is required to earn the CPCU, ARM, etc., all those designations. And if there's anyone interested in going to Hawaii, anyone currently studying to go to the Hawaii CPCU conferment, raise your hand. I'm just curious. We've only got maybe 5 months to go. All right, Monica, so we'll cheer you on that you make it to Hawaii. Orlando is next year. We'll talk more about CPCU conferment and what it takes to get to a CPCU graduation ceremony in our session today. We also get a lot of questions about sharing study tips from successful students, so we'll do that. And then we'll talk about your options for guided instruction through PrepAdemy, and what about other providers? There's CPCU chapters and other organizations that offer classes as well, so we'll talk about that. How are live and online weekly classes structured through PrepAdemy? That's most important if you decide to take a class. It is an investment of time and energy to participate in a class. We also get questions about how do I complete the ethics requirement? It's required for all institute designations, so we'll talk about that. Are there practice exams available? Should I self-study for exams? What are the exams like? And then a little bit about conferment. So using GoToWebinar, the designations overview, study tips from successful students, the PrepAdemy class structure, how we connect outside of class, and then at the end, off recording, we'll do a little, I call it a web safari. Some people want to find out how to navigate at the Institute's website to find the ethics requirement, exam pass rates. There's a great community, the Institute's community, where you can post questions and connect with other individuals who are studying for exams. And then I'll show you how you can find other live physical classes through local CPCU chapters and other providers. And then I'll show you how you would activate a smart online practice exam for a course. Those are really, really important. And then if you decide you want to join the PrepAdemy virtual classroom community, we'd love to see you in some of our classes as well. Here is the disclaimer. The CPCU, ARM, AIC, AU, AAI, and AINS designations are the property of the Institutes. PrepAdemy is a public course sponsor listed at the Institute's website that provides guided instruction through live and online weekly classes to help students prepare for the required examinations. Students are conferred the designation by the Institutes. PrepAdemy does not authorize or confer the designations, and you always want to contact the Institutes for program requirements. So if you're listening to this recording, this is January 2016, and I'm giving you pricing and exam information as of January 2016, and we try to do an orientation webinar about every 3 to 4 months. So we have students who join live online classes through PrepAdemy from all over the U.S., and I get students from South America and Europe too. It's pretty nice, and India, of course, is another popular place. But each of you come to the classes with diverse work experiences, and I know when I was studying CPCU, I loved to attend the live on-site classes where I studied in Sacramento, California, and I found that there just wasn't a lot of options for local classes, and I was getting into virtual classroom and had a wide network of subject matter experts who had not only an understanding of the Institute's curriculum, but they also had teaching experience. So we worked together in the virtual online classroom to present these courses and getting lots of great feedback from the students. But what's great is all of the students come to class with diverse backgrounds and they share their experiences and ask questions. And there's so many additional resources and information that you get by going through a live online class experience rather than just going it alone. Some of you may have never, in fact, if you want to raise your hand, if you've never taken an institute exam before, raise your hand. I just want to get a percentage. I'm not going to point anyone out, but see if I can get a percentage. Looks like one person. Anyone else? Two people have never taken an institute exam. And some of you may have other professional designations. That's great. But why earn professional designations? I always reach out to my network prior to a live session and ask them, why did you get involved in CPCU? I know why I did it. I wanted to advance my career. I was working in a call center environment, and I just couldn't envision myself 10, not even 5 years from then staying in that environment. I wanted to do something to set myself apart within my industry. And one of my contacts, Diane, said, obtaining my CPCU designation opened doors for me that have truly changed my life. The CPCU designation doesn't just teach you what you need to do for your current job, but how our industry works and the many different facets that insurance plays in our economy. My other LinkedIn contact, Fred, besides the visibility within an organization that earning the CPCU designation can provide, I can honestly say that the overall curriculum material helped me to learn the basics of several functional areas of insurance companies beyond what you could learn in your day-to-day job duties. And then finally, another connection of mine, Anne, said, taking the exams and obtaining the designation opened doors to otherwise that would not have been open to me. The knowledge that I retained from my studies gave me the opportunity to help others with less experience. So I'm going to go ahead and open up a poll question here, because if you're not using LinkedIn, I would strongly recommend that you start using LinkedIn. Go ahead and answer this poll question for me. Do you have a LinkedIn profile? And this is a great place to network and reach out to people and get their honest opinion about how you should progress in your career, use your current network. And I'm just surprised at how many still are not involved in LinkedIn. It is a professional social networking. I appreciate everyone voting. We have maybe just a few more people that need to click on a button. Yes or no? Last chance to weigh in on whether you have a LinkedIn profile. Thank you, everyone weighed in. You guys are awesome. So it looks like about 2/3 have a LinkedIn profile. That's great. I encourage you to connect with me. 1/3 of you don't. And I offer this to you, the people that do not have a LinkedIn profile. If you would like help, call me, email me, and say, hey, would you help me set up my LinkedIn profile? I've spent a lot of time studying LinkedIn through all of its changes, and it really has been just a tremendous resource for me and my connections, and I'd love to be able to share that with you. But we're here today to learn about why earn designations. Certainly the increased level of knowledge and understanding, new abilities and skills, successful completion of courses gives you that sense of personal satisfaction, that increased competence, and enhanced self-confidence and self-esteem to envision a different life for yourself and be able to progress in this industry. So the Institute's designations in particular, I'm a fan of the Institute's designation number 1 because I used to work for them as a sales exec, and I hold several of their designations. But I find that their curriculum is just very solid and sound, and it's based on many, many years of sound adult learning and instructional design, and they base all of their course content on textbooks. Now they've converted some of it to online, which is great for people that don't want the physical textbook. They also provide a course guide. When I was studying CPCU, we did not have a course guide like this that gives you practice application questions, that gives you sample review questions with suggested answers. So the white book, the course guide, has become a really good key to preparing for the national exams. They base a lot of their teaching on real-world examples, so there's lots of case studies, especially in the claims designation, and we'll talk about the claims designation in a little bit as well. And the nice thing about the exams, too, is most of them are multiple choice, so you just have to be able to recognize the correct answer. And it's not anything that's tricky. It's just you have to rehearse and review. I say review the materials so that you can be able to recognize the correct answer on the exam. So let's talk about CPCU. Raise your hand if you're thinking about CPCU at some point in your lifetime of study. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So about 6 of you are thinking about CPCU. So here it is. We're going to cover a bunch of other designations as well. Here is the snapshot of what's required. You have to pass 8 exams plus an ethics requirement. Now, you could take the courses in any order, but most people like to just do them in order. CPCU 500 is a foundation course. It only has 8 chapters. It's a lot shorter. It goes over the risk management process, and a lot of people like to start with that because it kind of gets your feet wet and it's not too overwhelming. But then immediately you get into the volumes of information: insurance operations, business law, finance and accounting. Then you choose a concentration area. So you may work for an agency or a company that focuses on commercial lines. You would want to choose the commercial lines track. Or if you work for an agency or company that focuses on personal lines, you might go with the personal lines track. So that's 4 plus 3, and then 1 more. You choose an elective, and it can be from a variety of other institutes' designation programs. And we're going to talk about AAI, AIC, ARM, AU, and we do offer the ERM course, the Enterprise Risk Management course as well. So eventually, when you sign up for your first exam, you're going to get a notice via email about matriculation. It's all online now. The $75 fee is just declaring you as a candidate for CPCU, and you have to pay that at some point, during the first year, and you'll just keep on getting email reminders that, if you're registered for exam and you haven't matriculated, they want you to be bound by the Code of Professional Ethics, and you sign a piece of paper saying that you're going to be bound by that Code of Ethics for CPCUs as a student when you matriculate. So you've got the ethics, the matriculation, the exams, and we'll talk in detail a little bit more about the exams in a few moments. If you have any questions, please do use the question box. I'll answer those as we go through or at the end. So if you want to go to the graduation ceremony for Hawaii, you have to finish your last exam by June 15th. Now, I met a gal at a CPCU leadership conference several years ago who completed all 8 exams in one exam window, and she was quite a unique individual, and I wouldn't recommend that. Most people take 2 exams a year, maybe 3 exams a year. I think the average time to complete is about 3 to 4 years. If with 8 exams and 2 a year, you're looking at 4 years, right? So if you want to go to Hawaii, you're going to be taking a lot of exams by June 15th of 2016. There's a lot of people also preparing for Orlando, which is great. So you just have to finish your last exam by June 15th of 2017 to be invited to Orlando. So the graduation ceremonies are in September. So Honolulu is September of 2016. Orlando is September of 2017. And then they haven't announced where we're going in 2018. I imagine it could be like Midwestern or West Coast again. So they tend to go East Coast, Midwestern, West. So who knows where we'll be going after 2017. Let's talk a little bit about AIC. Raise your hand if you're on the claims side of the business, that you in any way deal with claims. Go ahead and raise your hand. We have 1, 2, 3, 3 folks. Okay, so you may be interested in the AIC designation. And for the AIC designation, you have to pass 4 national exams. You have 2 foundation courses, the AINS 21 and the AIC 30. We're offering both of those as live classes if you're interested. And then you choose a track. So it's either property, multi-line liability, personal lines, or workers' comp. And you take 2 or 3 additional exams depending on the track you choose. So they have 5 tracks. You do have an ethics requirement. The ethics course is a little bit different. They don't require you to study the CPCU code and canons. So if you think you're never going to take CPCU, you could take this ethical guidelines for insurance professionals. It's Ethics 311, and that will give you credit towards the AIC designation. What's nice is they have these new M courses in some of the designations, and the AIC-M requires you to complete the 4 or 5 courses within the basic tracks, but then 1 additional course on claims leadership. And we offered that course live last year. It was a really good program. We had a great instructor and had a great time in that class. So that's the AIC designation. The ARM, anyone on the risk management, dealing with loss control, safety, risk management? We have 1. Anyone else here? Paul, all right, thank you. 2, 3, 4. Okay, it looks like about 4. There's a lot of people that go for the risk management designation. 1, because ARM 56 counts as an elective towards CPCU, and then just having a solid foundation of understanding the principles and practices, how to assess and treat risks. This is a very popular designation. You are required to complete that ethics course as well, the basic ethics course. And there are some additional options, those that work in public entities that do risk management for cities, counties, schools, etc. They may be interested in the RMPE 352 course or the ERM 57. We do offer the ERM 57 course at PrepAdemy, the Enterprise Risk Management, which is a popular area of study for risk managers. The Associate in Commercial Underwriting. Raise your hand if you're on the underwriting side of the house. Anyone here deal with underwriting in any way? So we got 1, 2, 3. So it looks like about 3 of you. Great. So there is an Associate in Underwriting. It's commercial underwriting. It focuses on commercial underwriting. And you do have to pass 4 exams. You have principles, and then you cover property liability, and then you have to have that AINS 23. That's part of the program in general insurance, the commercial insurance course that caps out the 4 courses. The advanced course, the -M course, is Strategic Underwriting Techniques for AU. If you want the AU-M designation, then you just take that additional course there. And we're offering AU 61, Underwriting Commercial Property, in this winter-spring session. And again, all institute designations require you to pass an ethics course. Another popular designation is for those that work on the agency brokerage side. So anyone here from the agency brokerage side of the house? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Awesome. Great. 5, 6. Great. Glad you're here. So AAI is another great series. The AAI 83 will give you credit towards CPCU as the elective, so that's great. And you just take 3 national exams to earn the designation. You've got your insurance production, the foundations, and then you cover all the contracts, personal lines, commercial lines, and then agency operations and sales management. Very good course. And then you've got the ethics, and the AAI also has an M course. I didn't put that on here, but it does also have an M course as well to get the advanced designation. A very popular foundation program series is the Associate in General Insurance designation, AINS. It requires you to pass 3 national examinations and complete the ethics course. What's really cool about AINS today is if you only focus on personal lines or commercial lines, you could substitute the AINS 22 personal lines or the AINS 23 commercial lines and take the CPCU 500 instead. And so you would, for example, let's say I work for a personal insurance agency. I take AINS 21, AINS 22, and CPCU 500. I have my AINS designation and 1 credit towards CPCU. Isn't that cool? So I like that as a basic foundation. But these courses, 22 and 23, are pretty high level anyway because you're going over all of those ISO contracts. And, you know, it's tough. I would say if you can get through 22 and 23, you can easily get through CPCU. So let me share with you some study tips. And for those, quite a few of you have taken Institute exams already. And I want you, if you don't mind, type into the question box right now, what is your number 1 tip that you would like to share with those in attendance today? We've got 15 people on the webinar today. What would you share with them as your best tip for taking or studying for Institute exams? Let's see if we get some good tips in here. John says, I believe the online test through the Academy is the best way to study for the exam. So they have these smart quizzes or smart exams online. I'll show you how to access those. If you purchase a course, you get the access code to activate the smart exams online through the Institute's website. So that's great. Thank you, John. He purchases the Smart Quiz Me app. That's great. Those are really nice too. That's through, if you have the Play Store or iPhone, you can get it through their market or through iTunes and download the Quiz Me app. That's great. Very good. Okay, so let's look at some of the other tips from successful students. They're using weekly time management skills by reading the course material. You definitely want to read the material, writing in the course guide, focusing on the educational objectives. The institutes tell you exactly what they're going to be testing on by telling you the educational objectives, and all of the test questions have to relate to an educational objective. And they break down the educational objective into component parts in the course guide by giving you review and application questions. So that white book, the course guide, is really important too to mastering the material. And then reviewing frequently. And part of that review is taking those practice smart online practice exams. So really appreciate your additional comments there. Everyone is going to be taking an exam. Most people go to a Prometric testing center unless you work for a large company that has an on-site testing location. But the exam, and this is from the exam registration booklet that you can download under handouts in the control panel for today's session. All of this is in the exam booklet. You're going to get anywhere from 50 to 90 questions. Most exams are multiple choice, and most exams are 2 hours to complete. Some of the shorter exams, for example, CPCU 500, because it's only 8 chapters, they give you about 60 questions, and they give you 90 minutes to complete the exam. So all the details of the specific exams are listed in the exam registration booklet. I mentioned earlier, most people are going to be testing up Prometric, and there are 4 60-day exam windows. And a little trick, you want to make sure that you are registered by the first day of the exam window to pay the discounted fee if you want to test within that window. So if you want to test by March 15th, you have to be registered by tomorrow, January 15th, to pay the discounted rate. If you can register any time for an exam, you could register within the window, but if you register within the window, you're just going to pay, right now it's about $72 more. So if you want to take your exam March 1st and you wait till next week, they're going to charge you $72 more. And I'm going to give you, in full disclosure, the current rates for exam fees, give you a sample of that for exam fees and books, because a big part of planning your educational journey is what is going to be the investment. Some of you are very fortunate to work for employers who at least reimburse, but sometimes pay up front for the cost of books and exam fees and classes. Others, you have to, put a budget together for this, but it's definitely just as affordable or more affordable than college credits. And what's cool is that taking any of these courses can give you credit towards a college degree if that's what you want to do as well. Let's talk a little bit about the PrepAdemy Live Online Weekly Classes. And thank you, Sherry. She was asking about the downloadable app. So if you have iPhones, you go through the iTunes store and search for Quiz Me app by the Institutes, and Play Store, same thing, Quiz Me app by the Institutes. So let's put in Quiz Me app by the Institutes. You should be able to find it. They do charge, I think, $10 per course to access all of the exam questions through the app, but you get the same questions in the smart online exams that are included in the cost of the basic course materials as well. So great questions. Keep your questions coming in. Okay, so if you decide to take a live online weekly class, we'll talk a little bit about PrepAdemy. Now, first of all, most people self-study. About 70% of the people who take Institute exams self-study just using their recommended course materials. And they, read the book, complete the course guide, take the smart online exams, and they do great. My target audience is people who want a guide on the side. They want structured learning. They learn better via video, audio, and just having like a course counselor available. And I think there's so many more people that would take these exams if they knew that there were classes available. I liked to take the classes, and I know there's a lot of other people that like that kind of structured learning. So the way PrepAdemy works is we offer courses starting 3 times a year. Most start in January, May, and September, targeting these testing windows. But let's talk about the live class structure. We focus on the educational objectives for the course, and we build in interactivities throughout the class, and we use poll questions throughout the class to clarify your understanding, and students are able to be unmuted or interact during class, ask additional questions. We have the open mic at the beginning and end of class, and what's great is our instructors come to class with current news articles, stories. They share their analogies and anecdotes that really make the material come alive. Each course comes with a set of chat tips and notes pages that are downloadable through your class page, and we also provide additional review exercises with answers so that you can use that in your final review for the course. And what's kind of fun, because it's a social experience, you're going through class with a cohort, we do have a competition for most interested student. You earn points every week for participation and interactivity, and the person with the most points by the end of the course receives the grand prize, the Most Interested Student Award. It's a $50 gift certificate towards or to a restaurant of your choice, so you can go celebrate your success when you pass an institute exams. So Todd is asking, can you talk about what you offer when live classes are not available? CPCU 540, for instance, is not offered this window. So yes, PrepAdemy does offer access to recordings from previous live classes. So you might ask, okay, why should I take a live class, or would I be better just accessing the recordings? You get all of the same information. What you don't get by accessing the recordings is that structured weekly email and that structured pacing through the course. Basically, if you purchase access to recordings for a particular class, you get access to all the recordings, downloadable notes pages, chat tips, review exercises, everything up front. Plus, I put together a study schedule for you based on when you want to take your test, and then it's up to you to put it into your schedule and watch the recordings when you can fit it into your schedule. So we do record all of the live classes. So if you pay for access to the recordings and decide, I'm not getting it done, I need to be in a live class, you can take the next live class. There's no additional charge, and vice versa. If you take a live class, you're going to have access to the recordings for that live class until you pass your exam. So if you have good intentions and you sign up and you still haven't taken your exam, you're going to get either access to the recordings, or I've added a lot of students. I have repeat students that go to the next live class because they just couldn't get it done and they need more structure. So the whole goal is to give you what you need to be able to pass the exam. So for the live class part of it, you can use a GoToMeeting app on your tablet or smartphone. You can even listen to the recordings on your tablet or smartphone. You just need a good internet connection and a good data plan, which is kind of cool. You could sign in from your office or home on your PC or laptop. That's probably the best practice because you get the nice big screen. If you're at a desk, you've got your textbook with you. We follow the textbook in the class, and we refer to important charts and graphs, and students like to highlight and mark things in their book as we're going through the material in the class. So the winter class schedule is listed at the homepage of the PrepAdemy website. So we're offering 4 CPCU courses, and they start in different dates, but you'll notice the end date is all around the exam window that starts April 15th and runs through June 15th. If you want to take a test before that, you might want to take a look at the recordings tab and pick a class, and you'll have immediate access to all of the recordings for the most recent live class that we ran for that course number. So here's an example of what you're going to invest per course for ARM. For the ARM series, the ARM 55 that we're offering starting January 25th, if you purchase the recommended materials package, the textbook and course guide is $186. So if you self-study, that's all you need to get started. And then when you want to take your exam, you're going to pay an exam fee of $201. And then if you decide you want to take a class to help you prepare, the class fee is $279. So PrepAdemy is not the only one that offers classes. I'll show you during the web safari how you could find other class providers and maybe someone locally that offers live on-site classes through the Institute's website. But a lot of CPCU chapters offer live physical classes as well. So you're looking at $650 per ARM course. Let's take a look at a CPCU. If you purchase the recommended materials package for CPCU 551, it's $235, and then the exam fee is $268, and then the class fee is $299. So you're looking at, what is that, $800 times 8. Right? If you decide to take classes for all of your CPCUs. So some people start out taking classes and then they end up self-studying for some. It just depends on your budget, your availability, your focus and ability to stay on track with your educational goal on your own. And so that is just a sample investment of one course in the CPCU. So why am I showing Michael Phelps, the famous gold medal swimmer from the Olympics, here in this picture? I share this story about Michael Phelps and his coach, and his success is, his success is in direct proportion to the amount of work he put into it. Sure, his coach was there to guide him and give him great information, but taking a class through PrepAdemy is like hiring a coach. We could yell at you all day, do this, tell you to do this or that. But if you don't do it, then that's going to show in your results. But everyone who follows what we recommend during the live online weekly class, if they spend time with the material, complete the course guide, take the online exams, they're not going to have any problem with the exam. They're going to have a good experience taking the exam, feeling like they were prepared. So enrolling in a class with a subject matter expert is a lot like hiring a coach. You still have to do the heavy lifting, and I still have not discovered that USB key that can plug into your brain that can upload all of this information for the exam. We're not there yet. So what makes PrepAdemy Live online weekly classes unique? We provide expert instruction from a variety of experts who work in the field. So they not only have a subject matter expert, they're underwriters, they're claims people, they have the training and education background, and they're co-hosted and produced by a producer, so the experience in the virtual classroom, you feel like there's no question that goes unanswered. You're not just an anonymous person out there. There is some interaction both online, live in the class, and offline through email and phone calls as well. So there's interactive and engaging weekly sessions. The competition for the most interested student award is always a lot of fun. We usually get about half the class that are going for that. You can join the classes from anywhere in the world, and all the live classes are recorded. The notes pages, review exercises, and chat tips are also included with the recordings, and we act as your guide on the side. We want to be able to connect with you and help you in your educational journey, and you're also part of a social community with PrepAdemy. So let me go ahead and offer another poll question for you, and go ahead and answer this. Are you ready for a live online classroom? And you could say, yes, I'll send you more details. No, I'm going to self-study. It doesn't hurt my feelings at all. You can always call or email me anytime, even if you're self-studying. That's one of my favorite things to do, is counseling students and answering questions. So you can do that. I encourage you to connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm an active member of the Arizona CPCU chapter, and if you're local, want to join a chapter luncheon with me, let me know. Send me an email, Sandra@PrepAdemy. So we had 79% of the people voted, and 82% of you said send you more details. That's great for those self-studying. I wish you good luck on that, and also invite you to contact me if you have any questions online. Okay, connecting outside of class via email, Sandra@PrepAdemy.com is my email, my phone number in Arizona. And I encourage you to connect with me on LinkedIn, or if you have questions about how to get started on LinkedIn, reach out to me. PrepAdemy does have a Facebook page, and if you want to like us on the Facebook page, you'll stay up to date on new class schedules when they come out 3 times a year. And then we're also tweeting at PrepAdemy. So at this time, before we get the web safari started, I do want to wish you good luck in your journey and offer you one little tip that I used to do. Is I would take a Post-it note and put "I will pass" on it and stick it on the bathroom mirror and stick a copy on the refrigerator. And every day it reminded me I had to do something towards preparation for the exam. And on the web safari, those that are listening to this recording, we're going to cover the ethics requirement, show you where the exam pass rates are, the Institute's community, how to find other live physical classes, how to access the smart online exams, and then how you would join the PrepAdemy virtual classroom community. So let me just answer a few more questions here, and then I'll stop the recording and do our web safari. Let's see, Monica. Would this online virtual classroom also include pre-recorded classes? So basically, you choose a live class if you want to take a live class, and you choose a recorded class if you want to access the recordings. But if you are not available for the live class, you probably should just go ahead and purchase the access to the recordings, because then you get all of the recordings up front. If you take a live class, you're going to get the recordings. They'll be posted once a week after the live class, right? So, you know, if you're going to enroll in AINS 21, for example, that class starts February 16th. We'll post the recording the next morning, and you get the recordings once a week. So hopefully that answers your question. So if you're listening to this recording, please do reach out to me if you have any additional questions. I appreciate your time today, and I'll go ahead and stop the recording.